Okay, you may have thought that growing garlic was just too hard or too complicated, or maybe you missed the window. Garlic needs to go outside in the garden before the first frost or right around the first frost. So if you missed the window or if you just don't have the space or the time, no worries, I got you. We're gonna grow garlic chives indoors this season. Actually, you can grow them indoors like every single day of your life. So awesome. So all you need is a pot filled with a compost topsoil mix, a draining tray, then you need some garlic. If you can get organic garlic, that's definitely what you want. I wouldn't recommend buying any other kind of garlic because we're not for sure that it hasn't been treated so that it doesn't sprout. A lot of times if you get garlic from the grocery and it's not sprouting, that's because they've treated it so that it doesn't do that. They want it, because most people who aren't gardeners like us, they don't want to see little sprouts on their garlic. So getting organic is the way you want to go. If you can buy it from a farmer's market, that's way better. So that's going to be garlic that's local to you, that's been grown in your climate, and that is fresh and ready to grow. So head down to the farmer's market. Usually, if it's during the winter or cool season when you're watching this video, it's a great time to buy garlic from the farmer's market because they usually don't have much else to sell. So they're oftentimes selling their root crops, their stored crops, and garlic is definitely one of those. So this is a way to have fresh garlic flavor, but not necessarily grow the entirety of the bulb outside. Sound good? Okay, let's do it. So all you're gonna do is take your garlic and break it into cloves. You want to leave the skin on. So I will peel back like the first layer of skin, and then you just want each clove to have the skin on it. You might need a little dipper or pencil or pen or chopstick, something like that, to separate them. But usually it is not too hard of a task. So you're gonna separate them, leave the paper on, and then you're just going to plant them. So you can probably tell just by looking at the clove, but like this is the root part of the plant, right? So that's the part that's gonna go down in the ground. And then this is the tip part. This is where the shoot grows up from. That's what you're gonna be harvesting when you're growing these indoors, is just that green. You're gonna use that green for garnishes to add garlic flavor to your dishes that you grew yourself. So this works really well, especially if you find little small cloves. If you did grow garlic or plant garlic out in the garden, generally what we try to do when we do that is to prioritize the biggest cloves possible so that you get bigger bulbs. So now is a great time to reuse those smaller cloves that you skipped out on planting outdoors, bring them inside, put them in a pot, and you'll still get a harvest from them just by growing their greens. So I just break this into little cloves. If I do accidentally peel the paper off, no biggie. I just will put that one aside and cook with it instead. And then I'm just going to use my dibber to create little spots to plant them all. So I'm probably going to do, these are not going to be growing into full bulbs. I'm simply growing them for the green. So I'm going to probably put I'm just going to go ahead and put all my holes here. I'm going to do 5 in this one little pot. If you do a wider pot, obviously you can put even more. But for this setup, I'm going to do 5. So I put my holes, and then I am just simply going to put these in. So you want to make sure the root part goes down and the tip part stays up. And I'm going to put 1 into each hole. This is a wider one. I'm going to put this right here. And I like to make sure I fill all the holes before I cover them up, because the girl forgets which holes she put the cloves in. So there you go, all 5 are in there. And now I'm just simply gonna take my hand and cover all the holes up. This needs a good watering in. I like to put this near my kitchen sink, near my kitchen window. You do want it to have about 4 to 6 hours of sunlight. So if you can put it near a window, that's great. Water it in with tap water. I like to put it in the sink, fill it up with water, let it fully strain out, and then put it back on its little straining tray. Do that probably twice a week. Don't do it if the soil is soaking wet or more than what you would say moist, but make sure you do it. Don't let it dry out. And in a few weeks, you're going to start to have green growth coming from these little cloves, and you can start to cut from them as soon as they get big enough that you could enjoy them. So you can use these in herb dips. You can use these as toppings on salads and soups, and you can use them as a little side garnish. The possibilities are endless, and it's going to bring this amazing garden to table freshness to your table that you don't have to work very hard to have. So I hope you'll try growing your own garlic chives indoors this season and perhaps for the rest of your life. This is just a great way to get introduced to the garden and to fill in the gaps when we can't necessarily grow outside. My very first garden success was a pot like this that my mom gifted me. I had 4 little kids. I had hardly any time to brush my teeth. She gave me a pot like this. I put it on my front stoop, and I literally felt like Martha Stewart. Every Saturday, I'd go out to the front stoop, cut a few garlic chives, bring them inside, make an omelet with them, and I suddenly felt like a queen. And you are going to too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.